let's hope that this internet connection of mine is stable. I make no guarantees because I'm at home and not in my car, which is really, really crazy. Because pretty much every time you see me, I'm in my car. But if you don't know me, my name's Megan, and I am the face behind 10,000 Swords. And I wanted to hop on here today just to talk to you about all of those resolutions or plans or goals that you've made for yourself for 2021, because they're huge. And I know that you want them. I really, really do. And I know how hard it is to say, I want to do this, 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 and this, and then feel totally trapped by the idea that you've lost your motivation or you have no idea how to get from A to B. And that is really something that causes most people to quit, but not you, okay? Because we're gonna go through today and figure out, we're gonna unpack all of these things that hold you back and get to why in the world this is important to you. Because it's not about how you're gonna get there, it's about why you wanna be there, all right? So I hope you grabbed paper or a notebook and something to write with and maybe a snack. I have my water. So I hope you have those things with you, and I hope you forgive me for a second while I wipe off my little camera because, sorry, my computer camera. I'm doing this on two screens at once, so it's not so blurry. It's kind of still blurry. Okay, and we are really gonna dig into what this is and what it is that you want, all right? So I'm gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions, and if you want time to think of the answers, which I really think is a great plan, is to just stop and really dig into thinking about what your answers are so that you don't feel like, oh, I need to answer these right now. No, think about these and give yourself the benefit of time, all right? Then you can just write down the question and take some time later when you've got some quiet to really think about what your answers are, because this is gonna open up the motivation that you need to be able to keep pushing through when you just wanna quit. And guys, I'm being totally honest here. There have been times where I'm like, screw this. Like I'm done. This was obviously a crazy idea, but my why is pretty big, okay? And your why for doing things doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you, all right? That's the best part about it, is that your why is your why. And what I want you to understand is that nobody else has to agree with it, because it doesn't matter. It's not their motivation. It's not their reason, and there is nothing too shallow, too lame, too little, or too big that should stop you from wanting something. If you want it, there is a reason, and that's what we want to get into. We want to get into the reason behind the why. So you might say, here's a good example. You might say, I want to lose 10 pounds. And well, I might say, why? And you can say, so I can look good in a bikini. Okay, why? Why do you care? What do you care if you look good in a bikini? I mean, what does the guy on the beach care? What does your husband care? What does anyone, your kids, does anyone care? But you've got a reason. And maybe that reason is because when I do that, then I feel like my husband loves me more, or I feel like I'm more attractive, or I feel more powerful in myself, or I feel more confident to be able to go out and say what I really think, or I feel like I've got more energy to be able to play with my kids and I want them to remember playing in the sand with me. That's a why. It's not, I want to lose 10 pounds so I look hot in a bikini. It's because I want to have the energy to play with my kids. The bikini is a whatever thing. It's sprinkles on top, okay? So that's what we're doing today. It's a big deal. It's a lot of thinking and a lot of digging, and it's a lot of what I want you to be able to do when you have time to really do it, okay? So grab your paper, grab your snack, grab your pen, and start writing this down. And if you wanna type on your laptop or whatever, that's cool too. I don't care where you write it down. I just wanna make sure that we're getting there, all right? So I've got my iPad too. I've got like 3 screens going here right now. And I'm gonna actually read the questions to you because I wanna make sure I don't miss a thing, and I have everything written out that I wanna ask you, all right? So the first thing I wanna know is, when you think about that goal or that resolution or that routine that you wanna create, why that? Why did you choose that? Like, what was it? You're like, yeah, I just thought that maybe that was a good one because everyone else is doing it. Maybe. Was it because you want a new job? Was it because you want a job? Is it because you want to get your grades up? Is it because you want to have less anxiety? Is it because you want to feel confident in your ability to do whatever you want? All right, so the first question is, what is the outcome you want? What do you want? What do you want? Tell me what you want, and don't be shy about it, all right? I mean, you can type it in chat if you want, but you don't have to justify what you want, all right? There are no wrong answers. If you want to make $200,000 a year, claim it. If you want to have a dog grooming service, claim it. If you want to be able to travel the world for 6 months, claim it. If you want to be able to hire a maid to clean your house or housekeeping, or you want to be able to get a boob job, claim it. I don't care what you want. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And you are not shallow for wanting what you want. What do you want? That's your first question. And I want you to be super honest with yourself. All right? So if you could wave this magic wand, and I know this is such it's becoming like the cliche coaching question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, all right? If you could wave a magic wand and really get what you want in the next 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, however long it takes you, because you're not gonna quit, you're gonna grit this out with me. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If you could really have that, what would it look like in your life? What would it look like for you to have a dog grooming business? I don't really want to know what it would look like for you to have a boob job, but you can think about it, okay? What would it look like if you made the amount of money you wanted to make? What would it look like if you changed jobs? What would it look like? All right? So answer that question next. What would it look like if you really got what you wanted? All right? And for this part, I want you to close your eyes. This part's kind of fun. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about your senses, right? We have 5 of them. You can see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, hear it. Close your eyes, and I want you to think about, what are you experiencing in that moment when you have it, all right? If I have my dog grooming business, I would see all of this around me. What does your dog grooming parlor, or whatever you call it, look like? What do you smell? Dog shampoo? Wet dog? Money? What do you hear? Happy dogs, happy customers, barking? What do you feel? Soft, fluffy puppies? Because that sounds really good. Fluffy puppies? Kitties? Okay. What do you, hopefully not taste, but maybe you get to drink Starbucks. I don't know. Whatever that is. What is it that you get from that? Use those senses and write it down. Write it in detail. I have purple aprons with dogs on them, and all of the puppies who come to my dog grooming business have a purple bow that matches matches your apron, whatever that looks like. Write it down. Get crystal clear on all of the feelings that you get from that. There are no wrong answers, right? This is your story, your game, your vision, your future, your dream. Do it. Go for it, all right? Nobody has to see this but you. Okay? How is it going to make a difference in your life when you get what you want? What changes? All right? So, and not just for you, but for the people in your house. If you do this, what changes? And for some people, when they answer this question, the answers aren't always positive because they kind of freak. They're like, oh my God, if I do this, everybody's gonna think I'm crazy, or they're gonna call me like the crazy dog lady. By the way, I don't wanna open a dog grooming parlor, so that's not my thing, but it might be yours. But they're gonna call me greedy. They're gonna call me, she doesn't know what she's doing, or he doesn't know what he's doing. Or or my family's gonna be so proud of me. And I'm gonna be able to afford to take my kids to Disney World. Or I'm gonna be able to get new carpet in my basement. What is that? What changes for you and what opens up for you? Because that's a big deal. And maybe it's a negative thing, and that's something you have to work through. Like, we can work through, how likely is that? We can work through what really happens next. But you gotta get honest with yourself first on what opens up. All right? That's your next question. And like I said, don't rush. Write it down. What opens up for you, good and bad? because sometimes we throw bad stories in there that aren't necessarily true. That's anxiety, that is fear, and fear is a liar. So we move through that. All right, so that's the next thing I want you to answer. We're gonna keep going. You ready? Here we go. What will having that, so forget the negative, bad stories that you're telling yourself. What will having that do for you? What will having that do for you? So we're gonna move from how would it make a difference in your life? And making a difference in your life might be, I'll have more money, people will look at me funny, to what do you get from that? Okay, and this is where we start thinking about, we go back to that example of I want to lose 10 pounds so I look good in a swimsuit for spring break or something like that. Maybe that's your thing, and you know what, that's a lot of people's things after the holiday, after the COVID-15, after all of those things. This is where we start saying, well, why? I mean, why is it important to you to lose 10 pounds? Is it because you're unhealthy? Is it because your blood pressure is high? Is it because you are tired? Is it because you just want to look like a swimsuit model? No wrong answers. It's your life. There are no wrong answers, okay? Don't put that pressure on yourself to have to say, well, I don't want to sound vain. I don't want to sound, I don't want to sound like looks are important. Okay? If that's for you, that's okay. Nobody else's perception of that matters. Why is that? What opens up for you when you have this, okay? What difference does it make in your life if you are able to achieve the goal that you set out to achieve on January 1st? Because y'all, it is January 14th and you have 5 days until 80% of the people have ditched their resolutions. January 19th, that's it. 80% are done. Not you. All right? Not me. And sometimes I'm talking to myself when I do these videos because I get it. Like there are times when I'm like, this was a stupid idea. Like I don't think I can keep going. But I got a why, and you do too, and that's what we're finding out. All right? Next question. What's important about whatever that having that does to you? All right? So, why is it important for you to achieve that goal? What's important about that, what that brings to you? Why is it important that your blood pressure goes down? That might seem silly, because I don't want to have a heart attack or a stroke. Why not? Well, what happens if that happens? Okay? Why is it important for you to feel like you look good? Why is it important for you to own a dog business? Why is it important for you to know that you own your own business? Maybe that's it. Whatever that thing is for you. We've gone from how does it make a difference in your life? What does having that do for you? Why is that important? Why is it important? Not why is it important to your spouse or your kids? Why is it important to you? All right? If I'm being totally honest and probably a little more vulnerable than I should be on Facebook, why am I doing this coaching business? Several reasons. 1, I want to make extra money. 2, I want to be able to help people. And 3, I want to prove that I can do something to my family, my parents, and to my kids. And I want them to see that I can do this. And it's not, and that is my biggest why. It's not, you know what, it's not holding me here. Money is not holding me here. And honestly, sometimes not even helping is holding me here. What's holding me here, my biggest why, is I got something to prove. Some people are probably like, what the heck, Megan? No. And I'm like, because it's not about you, it's about me. This why is about you, not about anybody on Facebook, not about anyone else. What is important to you? Okay? That's a big deal. I'm gonna keep going. All right? What does that feel like? All right? When you have that success, when you get to the point where you're like, I have this and it's so important to me, how do you feel? Sick to your stomach? Really super excited? Relieved? Like the pressure's off? How do you feel when you have that thing that you've been working for? Or when you're like, you know what? When I have this, I'm gonna feel empowered, or whatever that word is for you. Write it down, because that's a big word, okay? What does it feel like to have that thing? And again, if you're writing the questions, that's okay. I would actually almost rather have you write the questions and think about these things so you can just journal. Take your time. If it takes you 5 days, it takes you 5 days. That's okay. All right? All right, so in your relationships, in your social life, in your work life, what unfolds for you once you have that feeling? Once you say, you know what, I'm pretty powerful, I'm empowered, I am able to do this, I'm healthy, I'm a business owner, I am a professional, I am a fantastic mom because I can play with my kids, I do all of these things. Once you have that, what happens next? What unfolds for you next? What do you get from that? It'd be like, man, if I could do that, if I could do that big thing, I could probably like quit my job at Pack-A-Sack and go just be a dog groomer full time. Or I could probably afford to go back to school. I could probably like run a marathon. Whatever, it doesn't matter. What unfolds for you next once you get to that point? Okay, so I'm gonna pause right here for a second and talk to parents, okay? Parents, normally my coaching works with teenagers, a lot of anxiety work, a lot of confidence work. This is a huge confidence boosting thing, okay? You can take these questions and you can ask your kids, make them a dinner conversation, okay? Make these the conversations that you have when you're riding in the car. Or if you're just like, hey, I wanna sit down and do this activity with you because I wanna know what's important to you. It's a great way to really get into what your kids want outside of what you think they want, which may not be the same thing, right? Okay, so this is not an adult-specific activity by any means. This is very much a teenager and even littler kids. You can ask kids, they know what they want. I mean, they may not think in larger terms like adults do, but they know what they want, and you can do this with them too, all right? So, and then I want you to give me some details. After we say what's, like, what would that feel like? Give me a little bit of detail on what it feels like. So imagine if you have whatever it is that you wanted. Imagine that you've got it, okay? What else in your life would open up for you? And we talked about that. I could go back to school. I could graduate. I could quit my job that I don't love. I could be a marathon runner, whatever that is. Okay, whatever that is. And there, again, don't put any restraints on yourself here, okay? It's you or your kid or your teenager, all right? So here's where you're gonna get honest again. What is stopping you right now or slowing you down from having that? From having the thing that you want? What is holding you back? Is it time? Is it money? Is it fear or anxiety? Is it confidence? Is it your spouse? Is it your kids? Is it your job? Is it your dog? Is it your location? Because I read this really cool book called Everything is Figure-Outable, and hot damn, you guys, it is totally true. You can figure it out. We can figure this out, okay? But I want you to say, this is what's stopping me. I am freaking terrified of doing a Facebook Live. Not me, but other people are terrified of this. Or I am scared to death of trying to make everyone else happy. I'm afraid that I will fail. Oh, that's a huge one, isn't it? I'm afraid of failing. This is me, I am afraid of failing. I'm terrified of failing, which consequently makes me often sabotage myself so that I just quit before I fail. Because you can't fail if you quit first, right? Does anybody else feel that? Anybody else feel I didn't fail, I quit? Well, yeah, because you told yourself you were gonna fail. Guys, this really is me. I really do that, okay? So what is that thing that is stopping you from already having what you want? Okay? And then I want you to write a little bit about that. I want you to say, the reason I feel this way is because I've never succeeded before. I've never owned a dog grooming thing, and why would I be the person that's able to do that? I mean, I only have one dog. Why should I take care of 10 dogs? Why? I don't know. I don't even have a dog that eats a bath. Why would I give other dogs baths? No one's gonna come to me. I have whatever your excuse is, okay? So what is your biggest challenge with that feeling? Like, what really grinds your gears when you start thinking about why you think that you don't have what you want? Do you blame other people? Do you blame yourself? Do you blame your situation? Do you blame your teachers, your sister, your brother, your parents, whoever? What is your biggest challenge with it? Is it like, I don't even know why I don't succeed? That might be a really big challenge. Like, if you don't know why you're not succeeding, yeah, we need to figure that out, right? We need to figure out why you're not, and we can figure that out. We can, all right? And how has this challenge, or whatever this problem is, how has it impacted your relationships with your family or your friends or your coworkers or your neighbors or whomever is in your life? How has your problem impacted your life and your relationships with other people? Because as much as we think, oh, no, it's just my problem, it's not anybody else's, sometimes those things grind on us and cause us so much internal strife that we're grouchy, or we give up, or we're not the best employee we can be, or the best parent we can be, or the best neighbor or daughter or son or spouse or cousin or whatever you are to someone. Sometimes we're not the best that we can be because we know that we're holding ourselves back. So how is your wants and your not being where you want to be affecting other people in your life? And take a few minutes to write about that. All right, so if you've taken steps, let's say that your goal is to, I don't know, whatever, one of the things I already said, okay? That's your goal. What if you tried in the past to achieve this goal that's worked? What have you already done that's worked? Maybe all you did was tell your sister that you wanted to do this thing and she was like, yeah, that would be really awesome. You should do that. Cool. You already have one person cheering for you. That's a big deal because one person is better than no people. Maybe you got on the internet and Googled the cost of something to start your business, or the cost of a class at a community college, or the cost of whatever, getting your GED, the cost of getting counseling for your anxiety. Any of those things. If you did one thing, you have already done more than someone who's done nothing. What have you done that's worked? Maybe you even wrote out an entire business plan, or maybe you actually went through all the stinking paperwork to get a loan and stopped short. What have you already done that's worked or that's taken you closer? And if you haven't done anything, awesome, because you have a clean slate and anything you do from here on out is progress. That's great. Count it for what it is. That's good stuff. All right? Okay, so in your relationship with what you want, where do you get confused? I'll tell you where I get confused. I get confused on what to do next and when I get bombarded with details, because I am very much a big picture person. I have this great big idea and all of the details, it's like when you go underwater in a swimming pool and you open your eyes and everything's there and you can tell what it is, but it's super blurry. Yep, that's me. That's where I get confused. I'm like, what do I do first? What do I do next? So sometimes things feel like a crapshoot. Am I headed in the right direction? Yep. I hope so. I hope so. So where do you get confused? Maybe you are really good at details, but you can't see the big picture. Maybe you're like, I can't make a decision. Maybe you're like, I get confused because I don't know if what I feel is excitement or anxiety. Sometimes those things feel a lot alike. Can you tell the difference between excitement and anxiety? Because, it's hard to tell sometimes. Am I really scared? Or am I excited? Or am I anxious? We can work on that. We can work on that, okay? Let's see. And then I want you to think about how bad, if you were to put this on a scale of 1 to 10, how important for you in your life is it for you to have this thing? If you're like, I'm like at a 4, dream bigger, babe. Because if you're only at a 4, this isn't what you really want. And you're not fooling yourself. and probably not anyone else either. If you're only at a 4, it's not big enough. Get bigger, dream bigger. Be honest with yourself. What do you want? What do you deserve? Ooh. That's a different question, isn't it? Because sometimes I think we don't deserve to have good things or to have more or to have what we want. We think we have to punish ourselves for something. Something to consider, right? Okay. So, is there anything that you'd like to be doing for yourself that you're not doing? Is there anything you'd like to be doing for yourself that you are currently not doing? And why the heck aren't you? Maybe it's because you don't have the money to do it. Maybe it's because you don't have the energy to do it. Maybe it's because you don't know how to do it. Okay? Is there anything you'd like to be doing for yourself that you're not doing? What is it? All right? So the next part I want you to think about is, what do you anticipate? What do you anticipate that these problems are costing you, like right now? And what do you anticipate they will cost you in the future? All right? So this is when you're gonna put pencil to paper, and I want you to crunch some numbers, all right? And I want you to think about, what does it cost me to not have my dog grooming business? What does it cost me to not lose 10 pounds? What does it cost me to live with this anxiety? What does it cost me to not go back to school and get my GED? All right, and this is where you might have to spend some time doing some math, which isn't my favorite thing to do, but this is worth it, okay? I want you to think about, if I had this, how much money would I make? Versus how much money do I make now? Okay? If I lost 10 pounds, I would have to, if I don't lose 10 pounds, I will have to pay however many dollars for blood pressure medicine and something else, whatever it is, all right? Or if I have anxiety, it's going to cost me experience going, it's going to cost me the experience of going to college, or it's going to cost me the experience of being able to leave my house, or it's going to cost me time with my friends. It's going to cost me, it's going to cost me however many dollars a month for anxiety medication, whatever the cost is. And it can be time. Remember that time is a currency and money is a currency, and they're the same thing. Time and money are the same thing. All right? They really, really are. Time and money are the same thing. All right? What is it costing you? Crunch some numbers in your head and on paper and get honest with yourself. Because if you're like, you know what, I can't afford to do this, but then you look 5 years down the road at how much money you've paid doing other things, maybe you really can afford. Maybe you really can. You can look at it and say, you know what, I didn't think I could afford to go get my GED because I thought it was going to cost me this much for classes, but I realized that if I do that, I'm going to make all that money up in 2 months. And maybe it requires you to get a loan. Yes. Maybe it requires you to get creative. Maybe it requires you to sell the clock that used to hang on your wall on Facebook, which I'm going to do here next. Maybe it requires you to do something to make that work. But if you want it, it can happen. It can. Okay? It can. It might require creative thinking. It might require grit. It might require devotion. It might require sacrifice. But when you look at what you benefit from it, yikes, that's big, all right? So figure out, by not getting what that solved, it's costing you whatever dollars or whatever time, or time and money together, all right? What is it costing you? Get a number for that, all right? So what I want to share with you is this idea of what you're going to do is you're going to move from where you are to where you want to be. All right. I like to think of this as like a path with logs on the road. All right. And we're going to get over those logs, whatever those logs are. And it might be fear, and it might be self-doubt, and it might be money, or it might be time, or it might be whatever it is. Okay. We're going to move along this path and over these logs. And every time we go over a log, we've conquered something, okay? What you need is you need to create a routine or a habit that incorporates small steps to move you forward. And this is what I've learned in not being a big picture person and being And not being a detail person and being a very big picture person is that the reason I can't see the details is because I'm so busy looking out here at all of these huge things that I try and think, oh my God, how am I gonna get from here to here? It's too big. It's too big. We need small, tiny, manageable steps. We need a system to move us there. All right? You have to know, what do I do first? What do I tackle first in this progress to get me past that first log in the road to the next log? Because there's gonna be another log, okay? You need a system. And we say, okay, I'm gonna go here. Oof, this is tough, but I have my system. I can move on, okay? You also have to have someone supporting you, okay? You have to have someone that's saying, you know what? You can do this. You can do this. Let's talk about where we are and let's talk about where we wanna go. Let's bounce ideas, okay? Tell me what you want and let me dig down in there with you and let me figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you want. Okay, what's one thing you could do today that would change that? You need some support in there. You have to have somebody telling you that you can do it and pulling you through. And finally, you've got to have somebody that's gonna say, what, are you just gonna stand there in front of that log all day? Because I thought you wanted XYZ. I thought you wanted a dog grooming business. I thought you wanted your GED. I thought you wanted to get over your anxiety. I thought that you wanted to make $200,000 a year. What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna stand there and look at that? Or are you gonna move? All right, and that is accountability. And accountability says, you will do this because you said you did it. I will hold your hand, I will cheer like a maniac for you, but you will go over this log. All right, so the system tells you the steps, the little bitty steps. The support says, yeah, I get it. Let's talk about what you want. Let's get excited. And the accountability says, I know it's hard, but I also know what you want. You still want that? Because this is how we do it. System, support, accountability, okay? That is what I do. That's what coaches do, all right? And I would encourage everyone to have a coach. I have a coach, okay? Coaches have coaches, all right? And I think that in the process of achieving the goals that we want to achieve, it is vital to have someone. Here's my example. Before I did life and health coaching, I did swim coaching. You don't just throw a kid in the water and say, okay, do butterfly. No, just go do butterfly. It's okay, you can Google it. Because it doesn't work that well. It's hard, and then they want to give up. And you're like, no, you're doing so well. I can see you. All you need to do is kick from your hips and push forward. If you're not a swimmer, that makes no sense, right? But then they get it, and they get it one little bit at a time, and bang, they've got it. That's what a coach does. It's not just for sports. It's not just like, no, that's not how you throw a baseball. That's not how you hit a golf ball. It's also for, you want to do this thing, this is hard. If you already knew how to do it, you'd already done it, right? So when you look at what it's costing you and you look at what a coach is going to cost you, where is your trade-off? And I'm not saying give me a call right now because I am your girl. I may not be your girl. I may not, okay? There may be some dude that lives in Oklahoma that is your person. Or you may, whatever it is. If you are struggling, I want you to succeed because you guys, I heard this thing where there's only one you on the planet and there's only one person that has been given the gifts to do what God gave you to do. And dang if we don't need it right now. Take a look around at how crazy trained things are. We need everything you've got to bring to the table. All right? And if that means that you need some support and a system and some accountability, yeah, you and me too. Okay? So if this is something that you've answered these questions and you want to dive deeper into and be like, Megan, I'm really embarrassed to even bring this up, but I think we need to talk. That's okay. I've heard a lot of things. You'd be surprised at what I hear just in my classroom. All right, let's talk. Let's talk. We can talk. We can do a breakthrough session. It's 45 minutes. It's pretty much like this, except for that you get to actually answer me and I get to reply. And we just talk about what you want, all right? I will tell you that my coaching, I have a 12-week coaching program. Why 12 weeks? Why not 6? Because it takes about that long to form a new habit, okay? I wouldn't want to be like, here you go. I want to follow it up with support. All right. The cost of my coaching program for the whole 12 weeks is $1,197 for 12 weeks. Okay? If you want to break it up, it's $400 a month for 3 months. That's it. All right? So what is it costing you? What is it costing you? What can you afford? What can you not afford? All right? But if I am not your person, I really encourage you to find a person. Okay? I want you guys to share your stories. I want you to tell me. I want you to leave me comments and say, hey, Megan, guess what I did today? Because I'm telling you, whether I'm coaching you or not, I'm going to cheer for you. I want to see the awesome things you've got out there. All right? Tell me something awesome that you have done. Tell me where you are so I can cheer for you. All right? That's why we're here. Let's support each other. Let's move forward. And you guys, I am cheering so hard for you. If you want to get in contact with me, it is www.10000swords.com. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, you can message me or comment. And you can always text me. My number for 10,000 Swords is 260-222-8323. Don't be shy. You can text me there and I will get back with you. All right? You guys, go be awesome. Go be awesome because I know you can. All right? Take care. I'm glad you hung out with me today. This was a long one. It was like almost 40 minutes. So have a great day. I hope I'm not like pixelated mess. Take care.